Hi guys, so it's been quite a while since I uploaded my last YouTube video. It's been since the end of August 2016 and I have been meaning to make a video since then, but a lot has been happening. So the biggest thing that happened is I moved to England. So I no longer live in Canada where I'm from. I now live in England and I would like to make a whole video dedicated to this, just explaining maybe a little bit of why I moved, what the process was for me, how I feel about the process, and also I'd like to give you guys some advice because I watched a lot of YouTube videos and I did a lot of research on my own before moving here, but there are still a lot of things that I didn't really realize or I didn't take at face value when I first learned about them. So I would like to share that, and also I would really like to answer your questions. So I have received a couple of questions on Twitter about the process of moving to England. So if you have any questions, no matter how silly you think they seem, please ask them in the comments, or you can tweet me as well, but it would be easier if you leave them in the comments here, and I will make sure to answer those questions in the video that I do. So please do that, and I will make that as soon as possible. So I'm really excited to be back in the swing of things and discussing books with you guys, because it's been a bit of a strange 6 months with my reading. So when I first moved to England, I honestly was not reading very much. I was very stressed out. I mean, I was excited, but I was also really stressed out. So I read very little. But recently I have been reading more. So in January, I've read quite a few books so far, and I'm hoping to keep up the pace. I have had a couple of duds past week. There are 2 books that I started reading that I haven't really gotten into, and I've put them down, so that sucks. But overall, I've been having a really great reading month. In the process of moving to England, I had to make some decisions about which kinds of books I would be bringing with me, because I did want to bring some books because I didn't know if I was gonna, buy books right away, and I knew I would want to read on the flight and when I was traveling. So I brought 4 books with me, and I also brought a Kindle. So I thought I would share with you my Kindle, which I got back in July, but I don't think I've ever mentioned in a video. This is my Kindle. It's a Kindle Paperwhite, and I have a really cute case that I actually bought quite recently. This is the case. So it's a padded case. You put the Kindle here, and then you have some storage space here, so I keep my cable there so I can charge my Kindle. And I got this from Hermione Sews. I will leave a link to her Etsy shop down below. She does amazing cases. The service is really great, and they're not that expensive, and they're really, really good quality. So I was really happy that I bought this. So I just have a basic Kindle Paperwhite, and I have been really enjoying it, although I haven't been reading much on it recently. I bought a couple books before moving over, so I thought I would share those with you. I bought Shrill by Lindy West. I bought So You've Been Publicly Shamed by John Rawson. I got a couple Jane Austen books. I got those for free. I also got Dinner at the Homesick Restaurant, The Book of Disquiet, Transatlantic, After Midnight, and Cruel Britannia, which is this book right here. It's a book all about torture in the British Empire, I think, and I find colonialism and studies about colonialism quite interesting. So that's what's on my Kindle, and I haven't really used it very much. I did read So You've Been Publicly Shamed back in October, I think, and I really enjoyed the process of reading on my Kindle. So I'm not really one of those people that bashes Kindles. I think that they can be quite useful, especially if you don't want to have to carry along around a heavy book. I also wanted to share with you the 4 books that I brought with me. So I only brought 4 physical books with me, and it was really, really difficult to narrow down which books I would bring. And I'm still not sure if I made the right decisions, because sometimes I think about all the unread books I have on my shelves back home, and I think, oh, I should have brought that. I really am in the mood for that. And I've been tempted to re-buy books that I have at home. The 4 books I brought, I will share with you right now. The first one is Bodies of Water by V.H. Leslie, and this is a book set in Victorian London. That's a big part of why I decided to bring it. It's also published by Salt, which is a really great independent publisher. I haven't read anything published by Salt ever, and I've heard wonderful things about their work. So I wanted to look into this book, and I also wanted to just, learn more about the publishing house. The next book I brought with me is Our Spoons Came from Woolworths by Barbara Commons. So I've heard really great things about this, especially from Leslie. I'll leave her link to her video down below. I really have been meaning to read this for a while, and I decided to buy it not that long before moving over here. So this is also set in London in the 1930s, I think, and that's another reason I decided to bring it with me. I thought it would be fun to read books set in England while living here. The next book I brought with me is My Cousin Rachel by Daphne du Maurier, and I had a lot of trouble deciding which Daphne du Maurier book to bring with me because I have this book and I also have, I think it's Jamaica Inn, and they are both quite big books and quite heavy, and I didn't feel like I could bring both of them. So I decided to go for My Cousin Rachel because the story is just slightly more interesting for me. I still haven't read it. I haven't read any of these books yet, sadly. And I really want to read this hopefully before the end of winter. And finally, the next book is a book that I haven't been able to find on Kindle, which is one of the main reasons I bought a paper copy. And this is Eureka Street, and this is by Robert McLiam Wilson. And this is set in Belfast during the Troubles. And as you may know, I've been really interested in learning about Northern Ireland, so this book has had a lot of really great praise and I've been very, very curious about it. So hopefully I will get to this very, very soon. So those are the books that I brought with me to England, and like I said at the beginning of the video, if you have any questions, please leave them down below and I will do a video as soon as possible just explaining what the process has been like for me. I hope you guys have a really great day and I will see you guys soon.